All right, shifting focus to Delhi now, where the BJP has sent a legal notice to Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal was to address a press conference at about 4:30, about an hour ago, and that has not happened. The Delhi BJP chief, Satish Upadhyay, has criticized Arvind Kejriwal for not backing his allegations against him with proof. We'll be getting in Brijesh Pandey on the phone line for more details on just what this notice says that has been filed against Arvind Kejriwal. But of course, the constant back and forth between the two party leaders continues today as well. Joining me in the studio now is consulting editor for TVT and Rajdeep Sardesai and executive editor for Headlines Today, Javed Ansari. Rajdeep, your take really on one, the big development that has taken place of Kiran Bedi joining the BJP, and the constant back and forth, really the war of words that is underway between Satish Upadhyay and Arvind Kejriwal.
It's interesting. I think the very fact that the BJP has brought in Kiran Bedi is to be looked at two ways. One, a political masterstroke. You could well argue that the manner in which they projected Kiran Bedi suggests that they realize the need for a credible face who can take on an Arvind Kejriwal. So there's that one angle, that you've got now finally a credible face who can take on Arvind Kejriwal, because the one question the Aam Aadmi Party was constantly asking was, where is the credible face that you have to take on, to take us on? So they found one in Kiran Bedi. To that extent, it will be seen as a political masterstroke. But look at it from the other perspective, which is quite simply that you've got a situation now where the BJP has an entire phalanx of leaders, many of whom, like Satish Upadhyay, were perhaps aspiring to be chief ministers themselves. Along comes Kiran Bedi. What message have you then sent your partymen? You've sent your message to the partymen that perhaps none of you are good enough to go before the people of Delhi. We need a more credible face. We've gone to Kiran Bedi. So there are two ways to look at it. One, it's a political masterstroke because it virtually neutralizes the Aam Aadmi Party's campaign that the BJP doesn't have a credible face. Anna's movement spawned Kiran Bedi. It also spawned Arvind Kejriwal. On the other side, you've got to ask, the BJP, does it not have any other leader who they could have projected before an election? And probably not. So either way, I think it's an interesting move that the BJP has made. And just 1 month before the elections, it really now puts the ball in the Aam Aadmi Party's court, because Kiran Bedi, on issues like women's security that are important in a city like Delhi, she is a middle class face. She's seen as someone who carries that kind of credible image. So I think it's a very, very bold move by the BJP, and one which could only benefit the party in the end. I think the party stands to benefit a fair amount by projecting Kiran Bedi in the manner that they have.
Would you then say that the BJP will take the risk of directly pitching Kiran Bedi against Arvind Kejriwal in an electoral fight?
That's my sense. My sense is that they would try and do that. My sense is, don't be surprised if in the New Delhi constituency you have Kiran Bedi versus Arvind Kejriwal. It will also lock in Mr. Kejriwal a bit into New Delhi. He can't then go across the city. He will have to focus on that constituency. And also it validates without even projecting her as the chief ministerial candidate, the media impression will be that Kiran Bedi is the person who's out there to defeat Arvind Kejriwal.
All right, we also have Deputy Editor Brijesh Pandey joining us from On Ground on that big breaking story of a notice being filed against Arvind Kejriwal. Brijesh, what does this notice say?
Well, we don't know the exact contours of the notice, but the fact is that Arvind Kejriwal was slated to address a press conference, and since he didn't came, the BJP is all gung-ho about the fact that, that this looks like another shoot and scoot kind of allegation which has been leveled by the Aam Aadmi Party. And BJP State Prabhari Prabhat Jha said that, that this party, the Aam Aadmi Party, should not practice politics like this, where they make unsubstantiated allegations against the BJP, and especially the BJP state chief. This also is in the continuance of the fact that yesterday Satish Upadhyay had said that within 24 hours he will send a criminal defamation notice to Arvind Kejriwal to either prove his company's or complicity in either installing faulty meters or being in cahoots with the power discom companies in siphoning of money. Either he proves that or he should apologize to him personally. Looks like that the BJP, the state chief, knows for sure that if he doesn't do that, he will be in a dock, and the BJP is countering very aggressively this whole the whole allegations leveled by the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal.
Javed, Arvind Kejriwal had tweeted saying that he is going to address a news conference and he is going to produce proof against Satish Upadhyay. That hasn't happened yet, and the BJP really firing that salvo. Do you think this entire controversy, or rather bringing up this alleged nexus between power discoms and Satish Upadhyay, has in fact backfired for the Aam Aadmi Party?
However, make no mistake, the last has not been heard in this battle, and I am told that this is going to be an almost daily affair. This battle, Mr. Kejriwal will continue to harangue the BJP. He'll continue to hound them. They believe Mr. Kejriwal's game plan is to engage them on a daily basis, engage them consistently. And therefore, like I said earlier, the last has not been heard. Apparently, Mr. Kejriwal is addressing a rally at 6:30, and Mr. Sisodia later, sometime from now, will hold a press conference. So I'm sure these two gentlemen will have something to say.
Rajiv, do you think that Aam Aadmi Party's ploy really to bring corruption as really the main talking point has backfired? On one hand, the BJP is taking really the sting out of the publicity blitzkrieg that the Aam Aadmi Party was aiming at with the induction of Kiran Bedi, and as we understand, there will be a staggered inductions of other recognizable big names as well.
That's right. I think what the BJP is going to do, there are 4 weeks left to the election. They want to in some way occupy the mind space. By bringing in Kiran Bedi there, they occupy the mind space. Yesterday, Arvind Kejriwal occupied mind space by targeting the BJP state president over allegations of conflict of interest. Now Kiran Bedi gets all the headlines. Maybe tomorrow there'll be a Shazia Inmi, who former party leader, who will join the BJP. Day after, you could have a Jayaprada joining the BJP. So you constantly create a sense that BJP is gaining people and the Aam Aadmi Party is losing people. Thereby create a sort of momentum in favor of the BJP is what the aim is. Clearly, some of the reports that the BJP have got from the ground do suggest that the Aam Aadmi Party is not doing as badly as the BJP might have hoped. There's no Modi juggernaut was the sense they were getting. So by building this momentum and then pushing Mr. Modi in the last phase into the election campaign, I think the BJP hopes to create a sufficient degree of momentum in their favor, which will eventually, they hope, take it to that magic 35 number and well beyond that. So I think it is a conscious strategy that the BJP has adopted to push the Aam Aadmi Party now on the defensive.
Arvind Kejriwal also tweeted just a short while ago, Rajdeep, that I had always told Kiran Bedi to join politics. That's also an underhanded way really to remind people that it was Kiran Bedi originally who had opposed the idea of Team Anna becoming a political party, and now she herself is joining politics. Not just that, she could also be positioned as a chief ministerial candidate.
Absolutely, and brilliant question there, because I think that's exactly what has happened. You know, you've got a situation when Arvind Kejriwal was joining politics, Kiran Bedi was the one who was opposing the very idea of forming a political party, saying we are an apolitical movement. Look what's happened. Arvind Kejriwal, in a sense, some will accuse him of using the Anna movement and joining politics. And you also have a situation now where you've got Kiran Bedi, who's also left politics and joined the Anna movement. I mean, it's quite remarkable that you've got a situation where a movement which was claiming to be apolitical has turned out to be fully political, and it's almost devoured the father of the movement, Anna Hazare, who's still in Ralegaon Sidhi, and all those who, in a sense, came on public platforms as a result of that 2011 movement are joining various political parties. So the impression that will go out now is that the Anna movement, in a sense, has been, politically merged. One has gone to the BJP and one has gone to the Aam Aadmi Party. And you wonder whatever will happen to the Lokpal, because this entire movement was formed on the basis of the Lokpal. The fact is that neither the UPA government nor the NDA government has really pushed ahead with the Lokpal legislation. So it's interesting how times have changed. 2011 to 2015, the wheel has come a full circle.
Absolutely. Let's also play out those sound bites that we got in earlier in the day. Amit Shah confirming that Kiran Bedi will fight the election, but refusing to speculate on whether or not she will be the chief ministerial candidate. But the tone and tenor of Kiran Bedi says it all.
किरण बेदी जी ने आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी में प्रवेश किया है। वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ओर से चुनाव भी निश्चित लड़ेगी। मुख्यमंत्री कौन बनेगा वो फैसला पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड का अधिकार क्षेत्र है। पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड इसका निर्णय करेगा। थोड़ा समय राह देखिए, आज इतना न्यूज काफी है। कि वो जुड़ी है और वो चुनाव लड़ेगी। अभी उनकी सीट तय होना बाकी है, दिल्ली प्रदेश यूनिट बैठकर तय करेगा। अभी सीट के बारे में कोई निर्णय नहीं हुआ है। चलिए कुछ पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड पर छोड़िए आप। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सभी कार्यकर्ता मुख्यमंत्री बनने की योग्यता रखते हैं। अब किरण जी भी हमारी कार्यकर्ता है।
मैं अपना 40 साल का एक्सपीरियंस दिल्ली को भेंट करने आई हूँ, अपने देश को भेंट करने आई हूँ। जो मेरे पास है उसको मैं समर्पित करने आई हूँ। मेरे लिए पूर्ण समर्पण है। मेरे लिए अब मैं लिमिटेड वे ऑफ अपनी एनजीओज और स्पीकिंग एंगेजमेंट्स ऑल ओवर द कंट्री करती थी, ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड करती थी, अब मैं पूर्ण अपने आप को दिल्ली को दूंगी। अब दिल्ली को क्या जरूरत है इस वक्त? दिल्ली को जरूरत है एक स्ट्रॉन्ग, क्लियर हेडेड, एक्सपीरियंस्ड, स्टेबल गवर्नमेंट। स्टेबल गवर्नमेंट की सख्त जरूरत है इस वक्त। इस देश की राजधानी को दुनिया की नंबर 1 राजधानी बनने का एक सपना है। दिल्ली की राजधानी हो और उसमें हर तरीके की बुराई हो, नहीं हो सकता। हम अपना वो 40 साल का एक्सपीरियंस बड़े स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम वर्क से, क्योंकि मुझे काम करना आता है और मुझे काम करवाना भी आता है, वो मैं एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे मिलके, हम करेंगे भी और करवाएंगे भी।